Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We're going to be doing a Q&A today because I thought that now that Japan is finally open and plenty of you are planning trips here, I thought I might be able to give you some advice from my experiences traveling around Japan because I do that a lot. So I gathered your questions on Twitter and Instagram and I'm going to be answering as many of them as I can today. We're going to have a special guest join us because he also has lots of experience traveling as I do. Today's video is sponsored by GlassesUSA.com. You guys know I get all my frames from them, so if you are looking for some new glasses or sunglasses, you can put prescription lenses in all of their frames and there's thousands of different styles to choose from. So there's something for everyone on their website. I will have them linked down below, so check that out, but let's get started. Special guest, come join me.
Special guest. Right.
Yeah, so I feel like Chris is the only person that I know that has traveled Japan probably more than I have. So I thought he would be a good person to help us out.
Barely in the frame here. What's going on?
Whose fault is that?
Like this
Big
way.
muscular arms taking up all the frame.
This is how we do. This is how we do.
Get out! I regret asking you to join me. What was the best thing about not having tourists in Japan these past few years, and what is your fear about having them back in again?
I mean, there's some places in Tokyo and Kyoto in particular that you just can't go to, really, when there's loads of tourists on. Asakusa's always just the craziest, wildest place ever. And it was nice to go there and make a video with Ryota, actually. We explored it and we had the whole place to ourselves. But, you know, overall, I'm glad that Japan has returned to normal now. I've had friends come over and it's just a lot more exciting. I've run into quite a lot of viewers in the streets
already.
In Tokyo
it's only
already.
Been like a week. And
yeah.
Even here in Sendai, we've had 3 people say hi to us.
We did, yeah. And it's kind of cool. Like, I did miss that a bit. Not to like pad my ego like, oh, well, yes. Spot me in public. It's not that, honestly, but it's just nice. Japan feels there's a degree of normality.
Yeah, I'm definitely happy that people are back in and things are getting back to normal travel-wise, because it just felt so unfair that you guys weren't able to travel here, but we were able to go out and come back in, and yeah, I just felt like that was really horrible.
And just making travel videos, I always felt like a bit of a dick.
Yeah, right?
The last 2-3 years, like, look at this amazing place that you just can't visit.
Go.
You know? I didn't enjoy that, so I held off making a lot of travel content. So it's nice to get back into that as well. Like we just filmed in Nakasendo Trail, this beautiful region in the mountains of central Japan. That video will be out in a few weeks, but that was really fun.
Next video for me. The best/most unique places to stay besides Neko Neko Inn. That's my Airbnb, if you're unaware. I'll link that down below if you're looking for a cozy place to stay in Shibuya. But what would be your recommendation for like a unique hotel that people could stay in if you had to pick one? I'm gonna say the one that has the cats that can stay in the room with you. If you're a cat person, that place was awesome. It's a little bit out of the way, but really unique experience. The owner was super friendly, and yeah, it was a lot of fun, so.
Oh, maybe, no. Love hotels are kind of unique. Go there for like one night, unplanned. Go there to like a capsule hotel. Try it at least once, even though I can't overly recommend it. I went to a place called Book and Bed.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Connor.
that one was neat.
That was a really interesting kind of vibe. But I mean, like Japan is really great for unique accommodation. The capsule hotels, the love hotels, the ryokans. My favourite thing, my favourite thing is staying in a private, staying in an inn with a private outdoor bath.
Yeah,
and
100%.
especially in autumn, or in winter, just sitting in there relaxing. That
yeah,
is my favourite.
I was gonna say we got like at least 10 questions from people asking us what would be a romantic getaway to do with your partner in Japan, and I think Chris would agree that renting out a ryokan with a private bath in the room is probably like the best thing you can do, because the whole ryokan experience is all about like just spending quality time in your room.
Because in Japan, most people don't travel that much outside the country. They don't have much holiday time. There's a lot more domestic tourism. So ryokans are very good at that, catering for Japanese tourists and making them feel like they've escaped, even just for a short while, for like one night from where they live, right? For that reason, they are, a nice, beautiful little escape. The food is always incredible. The rooms are very peaceful and sort of zen, and the outdoor onsen just amazing. And that, for me, is my favourite thing. Always recommend it. Just one night. It can be a bit pricey, but you shop around, you can find something.
Yeah. Lots of people asked some recommendations for places that are accessible by bullet train because they can't drive in Japan, especially in North Japan.
So no car, I'd say we've got quite a few great places like Hachinohe,
Yeah.
the biggest morning market in Japan, and the cool nightlife district. I did a video with Ryoto in. Aomori City, they've got the A Factory. With
Great
lots of
food.
cider.
Great food in Aomori. Great hotels.
Yeah, really nice. And then at the end of the line, you've got Hakodate, right? That is such
Hakodate is really cool.
Yeah, it's one of the nicest cities in Hokkaido, and it's really cool to be able to get there by going on a bullet train through one of the world's longest tunnels, which is one of
Yeah, you go underwater.
experience unto itself.
It's pretty cool.
Everyone loves Hakodate. It's a great weekend getaway spot. If you can fit, maybe 1 or 2 nights into your trip, it's worth it for sure. The food there, the crab, the burger restaurant.
Oh God, I hate that place. Oh, it's so gross. Everybody recommends this. What's it called? Piero.
Lucky Piero burger.
It's gross. It was horrible. I don't know if they were like on an off day, but we both ate it, and you didn't like it either, right?
No shit. The key word is overrated.
Shockingly bad, but like it wasn't even okay.
It wasn't bad. If I went there, I'd be like,
bad.
it's all right. It's the fact that people like really weirdly hype it up because it's like
Yeah.
the local burger restaurant. It's like, wow, local. There's a reason they're local. There's a reason they didn't expand outside of Hokkaido.
I'll say that the
They'd be
atmosphere
fucking
is
wanted
cool. It's designed really well.
Yeah, the
Cool
branding's
looking
kind of
place.
cool.
Maybe
But,
get a drink.
I've been there with you and Pete and Connor, and we're all like, nah,
Yeah. And also Morioka. Morioka's on the bullet train line. If you want to try Wanko Soba, the soba eating competition,
Yes.
Morioka's good for that. And it's really beautiful in the fall. There's lots of really pretty locations in Morioka. So if you happen to be here in the fall, that would be a good stop.
You got the 3 noodle dishes as well, right? Like Neimen, wankosoba, and Jajangmyeon. So the 3 noodle dishes of Morioka. They're kind of worth it if you're into your food, right?
Yeah, it's a pretty town. If you had to eliminate one of Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka, or Hiroshima from your itinerary, which would you eliminate and why?
I mean, it's a tough one, really. I personally love Osaka, but you could argue that Tokyo, Osaka, you can do a lot of the same sort of things, right?
That's what I would say.
But Osaka, don't forget, has USJ, Mario World,
if you like theme
Harry
parks,
Potter World.
I don't.
Harry Potter
I
World,
wouldn't come to Japan and want to go to a theme park.
Get yourself some butterbeer at USJ.
Don't listen to him.
And the food in Osaka is great. The best nightlife in Japan. Depends. If you're coming for like a lad's holiday, then I'd say Osaka because you can have a great night out, right?
True.
But if you want a more sort of culturally diverse holiday, go to Hiroshima because you've got Tokyo, the modern, Kyoto, the old, and Hiroshima somewhere in between. It's a less mega city.
Like gorgeous views.
Yeah, you've got the islands as well to explore.
Yeah.
You could do the Shimanami Kaido cycle. So generally, when I have friends over and I show them around, I usually do Tokyo, Kyoto, and Hiroshima. Osaka.
Like Osaka is great.
Really good.
I don't really have anything bad to say about Osaka, but the only reason I would choose it to eliminate it is because it's similar to Tokyo. It's like the city life.
Great place
vibe.
for photography, though. Osaka.
True.
Probably my favourite city.
True. We had a question from Nadine. What are some spots you would recommend for people that want really photogenic places?
Osaka for nighttime. Osaka's a little bit dirtier and rough around the edges. Tokyo's been gentrified to hell. Osaka still hasn't really as much, so you can get some really cool street photography there.
Oh, we went to Shirakawa recently. That was so fun to take photos of. All the different seasons, I can imagine it would look amazing. We were there in the summer. It was painfully hot and uncomfortable, but it looked beautiful on film.
Yeah, and in the mountains as well, in that region, you've got Takayama City, which is really beautiful and kind of like, it's just got mountain city vibes, like the streets are lined with old wooden buildings and you've got nice little rivers and people cycling across them. Like there's a dynamic there, just an atmosphere that you just can't find outside the mountains. So like Takayama or Naraijuku on the Nakasendo Trail. Those places get my vote, I would say.
What shrines or favorite Japanese spiritual pilgrimages do you think are worth a visit?
Well, the one that I used to live near was Haguro, right?
Oh, Haguro's really cool.
And it's a little bit far out.
100%.
The Dewa Sanzan, like trinity of temples on Haguro, Gasan, and I can't remember Udono-san.
Udono, yeah. But Haguro temple, shrine area. Is it a temple or a shrine? I always mix this up. Is it both? Sometimes it's both.
It's a shremple.
Let's just say Haguro Mountain.
Yeah, I hate trying
beautiful.
to remember what the hell it is.
I know.
But I did a video there with Ryotaro and we trekked through the snow to the pagoda, one of the oldest pagodas in Japan.
It's really cool.
700,000 years or something. 700 to 1,000 years. Yeah, it's just a really magical sort of place in the summer, in the winter. It's just so beautiful. And unfortunately, because it is so far out in Yamagata, a lot of tourists don't get to see it unless they're like really dedicated to the cause of travel. You're into that sort of thing, like it's unbeatable. And you really do feel like you've escaped from it all when you're up there on the mountain, in the snow. Beautiful in winter.
If you want something more generic and easy to access, Fushimi Inari is not overrated. It's gorgeous. In the daytime, it's going to be packed with tourists again, now that you guys are allowed back in. But I recommend walking it at night once the sun's gone down. It's pretty cool. It's a little creepy, but if you like ghostly vibes, I had a lot of fun exploring it at night. They keep it open all night long, so
it's a little bit dangerous there. We've got to watch out for
the
wild boars.
boars.
Yeah, wild boars. We have on the podcast. We always have listeners who are like, "I nearly got eaten by a wild boar."
Would they actually attack you though?
Well, yeah, they're quite violent and they charge at you and stuff.
Oh,
yeah,
geez.
there's been some incidents.
But I did it and I survived. I didn't see any wild boars, so
Get a free meal
at your own risk.
don't kill the wild
It's
boar.
horrible. Is visiting Japan during the summer the worst idea ever?
Yep.
Yes.
Next question.
No, there's a second part to it. Even if you don't have the possibility to go during other times of the year. Well, I wouldn't say don't come to Japan at all if you could only come in the summer. Of course, I'm not going to suggest that. Like, it is horrible, but it's very beautiful. So if you can suck it up and
That's true, actually.
yeah, except that you're going to be sweaty and disgusting the whole time, Japan probably looks its best in the summer.
Yeah, it does. I'm really gutted, actually. This year I really wanted to do a video in the countryside, like I did 2 years ago. I did this driving video, and there's a montage at the start of these luscious rice fields and the scenery, and that was all done in summer. And yeah, Japan is at its most striking in summer, for sure, but it's just not as fun travelling around when you're dripping with sweat, downing Picari sweat to try and get through it all.
Yeah.
But it's still a great time to come. And if you're into photography, like summer is one of the best times to come, I'd say, for that reason.
For sure.
Yeah.
And if you can rent a car here, do that. Have the air conditioning on. Go for some drives, because summer road trips are, beautiful.
Yes, the key word is air conditioning.
How much Japanese should someone know to get around Tokyo, use the trains, etc.? So last night I went out for a walk around Sendai to see how much English I could find, because as someone who speaks Japanese, I don't notice when there's English on things. But I realized that even up here in Sendai, like an hour and a half out of Tokyo by a bullet train, there's English everywhere. So down in Tokyo, I don't think you're gonna have any issue getting around on the trains, like with language problems. There's English on everything. There's Korean and Chinese as well. And you can just use apps nowadays for figuring out how to use the train and stuff. I honestly wouldn't say that you need any Japanese at all to get around in Tokyo. In the countryside, it's going to be a different experience, but
because of the Olympics and stuff, they really put a lot of effort
they really prepped places to accept people that don't speak any Japanese. So
that was the one good thing that really came out of the Olympics. They did up their game with making it more accessible. But really not an issue, I don't think.
Would you recommend renting a car to explore wider Japan?
Depends, really. If it's your first time in Japan, you don't really need it. Just stick to the trains, honestly. But if it's your first time and you're like weirdly adventurous, or it's your second time you want to see something original and good, then definitely rent a car. It'll open a lot of doors. You can explore like central Japan a lot easier. You can go up to North Japan and just have like a more sort of wild adventure, I think, like around the coastlines. And you know, that some of the best places in Japan, up here for example, we have the coastline of Iwate.
And you can't really experience that if you're just on the trains.
It's really hard to get to by train and whatnot. And
I would recommend it to everybody, really, but I think that's just because that's the kind of trip I prefer, more like outside of the city, seeing the countryside stuff, and it's hard to enjoy that kind of experience when you're having to find stations and walk long distances from the stations and stuff. So, and renting a car is quite cheap here.
It's cheap-ish.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Like
7,000 yen a day.
Yeah, so that's like $2 at the moment.
$2. But there's a rental car place by literally every station in Japan.
So you've got 9 days in Japan. You're going to Tokyo. You're going to Kyoto. What should be the third location that you fit in?
I'd say Takayama. Because you go to Nagoya, right? You go to Nagoya, which is sort of on the way to Kyoto.
That's a good answer.
Hop on a local train. That'll take you 90 minutes, I think, or 2 hours, up into Takayama. Spend a night or two there.
And it's a different vibe to
different
Kyoto.
Vibes, different food, chilled out place.
Yeah.
Go there. Maybe see Shirokawa, get a bus there, and then head on round to Kyoto from there. Or go to Kanazawa as well. Toss that into the equation
I
for
wouldn't
one
say
night.
that just because Kanazawa is so similar to Kyoto.
Don't go to Kanazawa.
It's amazing.
As much as I loved it.
But I would say Kanazawa or Kyoto.
Yeah.
Lots of questions about taxis and where to hail a taxi. You can just stand out on the road and just kind of wave your hand when you see one.
There's so many taxis in Japanese cities, way more than the UK or anywhere that I've ever been. There's always so many. So like, and always look out for like the red kind of light to the front
you
of the
need your
taxi.
glasses.
Yeah.
When I'm not wearing my
little red
glasses, I
light.
can't read it, but they'll have signs, and one of them will say available, one of them will say someone's in there, and the third one is it's reserved.
But if it's red, that's usually it's free, right? If it's reserved, it's like orange.
It's confusing.
Yeah.
I think
just wave at every taxi and one of them will stop.
green is like not available, and red is like it's free. You
Makes
can
no
get
sense.
in. Also, if you're having trouble hailing one down, just head to the nearest station, and there's usually like a taxi stand there.
Yeah.
Lots of questions about masks and how Japan is at the moment. How has it changed after COVID? What are the new rules? What do people have to do in regards to masks and stuff?
You have to kind of wear it outside a lot. The Japanese government said that it's okay to not wear masks outdoors.
Nobody listens.
Nobody listens. You know, people are raised here wearing masks, so they don't really see why it's like, you know, it's a normal thing in Japan.
Yeah. So there's no official rules like making you wear a mask anywhere. So it's more just kind of like follow what everybody else is doing. Some of the stores themselves will choose if they require you to wear a mask to come in or not. So I would say for the most part, most buildings, stores, restaurants, you're going to have to wear one to enter the store.
Yeah.
At least at the time this video was made. Kind of doubt it will change anytime soon though. A lot of videos I watch about Tokyo say to avoid busy tourist attractions on the weekends, but there's nothing to suggest what you should actually do over the weekend. Where and what would you recommend?
Just sitting in a room, listening to the Abroad in Japan podcast.
Yeah,
I
stuff
don't.
gets really crowded on the weekends.
Yeah, don't go to Asakusa, don't go to Shibuya Crossing, don't go
to
literally
big
anywhere in
touristy
Tokyo.
locations. Don't go outside.
Just don't go to Tokyo.
I would head out to the countryside, even if it's just like a short day trip outside of Tokyo. If you can just get a little bit out of the city, it won't be as crowded.
Go and look at a rice field.
Go for a hike.
Or a hike.
Yeah, go to the beach. Anything that's not like a famous tourist location or a cafe or something would probably be a good choice.
But remember, book your hotels for the weekends in advance, because those are the days that the hotels are always sold out, and it's way harder to find a good, cheap
Shinkansen
hotel
as
room.
well.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Recently, the Shinkansen's been so crowded. So
Yeah, they lowered capacity during COVID, right?
Yeah.
And they still haven't
Didn't
put it back
bring it
up,
back.
even though capacity's back to where it was.
Yeah.
So Shinkansen aren't as fun as they used to be, shall
No.
we say.
Yeah, book everything ahead of time if you can. Is there anything you like to collect on your travels or daily life in Japan? I feel like
Chicken. All the fried chicken.
I feel like Chris isn't exactly a collector. I do, however. I absolutely love collecting things, and Japan is amazing for that. I collect Michi no Eki stamps and just travel stamps from all the stations and like touristy locations I go to.
I always wondered who did those stamps, and now we know.
I do. So yeah, if you go to like stations or roadside stops, you can collect all these cool stamps from around the country.
They're pretty good,
They're,
like, levels of detail.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
So anyways, like over the years, I've just been doing this and collecting them on random sheets of paper, and it's very annoying. So I designed this. I created a stamp book that you guys can use to collect stamps from around Japan, so you don't have a million pieces of loose paper like I do. Yeah, you can stamp your stamp here and then write some details of the date and the location, and it'll just be a nice little book that you can have of your memories of your travels here.
Is that Mara on the front?
That's Mara.
Can I have a stamp book?
That's Pippin. Are
Where's
you going to
Boyle?
use it?
Definitely.
Will you trade the stamps for chicken collecting? I'll link the stamp below. It's for sale on my stationery shop, nekonekopost.com/shop. So if you would like one for your Japan trip, check it out. I'm very proud of it, and I'm happy because it's something that I personally have always wanted. And
Really nice designs. Yeah,
hey,
nicely
thank you.
done.
Thank you. All right, final question, but this is a good one actually, and I feel like it's something that we should definitely warn you guys of. So Lorena accidentally scheduled her Japan trip during Golden Week, which is something that you should never do. So Golden Week, the dates of Golden Week change every year in Japan, so I can't tell you exactly what days it will be, so you have to look that up. But Golden Week is like a week long of continuous holidays in Japan, and like everything is packed.
Yeah, it's like a boss battle to make your holiday good. I mean, it'll get in the way. Actually, a friend of mine was like, I'm coming over next year. I was like, yay. And then he was like, and I'm coming over the last week of April or something. And I was like, no. And so yeah, do keep an eye out, because during that time, a lot of things are shut and everything's just busy, and traveling's just not fun.
That's true. Not only are things busy, lots of things are shut.
Booked out bullet trains, booked out hotels, things are shut.
Things are packed.
It's not a good time to visit. I don't know what. I think I normally just sort of sit in the apartment and do nothing.
I try to avoid leaving the house. But Lorena, you have booked your trip already. So honestly, I would just say get out to the countryside. Places that aren't going to be as like popular for Japanese tourists and international tourists. Scenic locations as opposed to like famous spots like Kyoto or Osaka or something. Rent a car if you can. Enjoy a road trip alone, away from the crowds. You shouldn't have any issues. The roads will be a little bit busier, but you could always take the side roads and not go on the highway. But yeah, Golden Week, avoid it at all costs.
Sucks, really. Sucks.
Alright guys, I think that's it. Hopefully we answered some questions and helped you out a little bit with planning your Japan travels.
I hope so, yeah. But yeah, I'm really glad that Japan's reopened finally.
Yeah,
and,
it's really exciting.
Yeah,
excited for you guys to finally be able to come back because I know so many of you have been waiting. Check out Chris's channel if for some reason you don't know who he is.
I've got a YouTube channel called Abroad.
He has a few travel videos over there for some ideas.
Indeed. Come meet me there.
And my glasses will be linked down below if you guys are interested in getting some frames from glassesusa.com. Thank you again for sponsoring this video. And I'll see you guys again very soon. Bye for now.
Bye. Sayonara. You never hear that.
For good reason.